So, very early this morning, President Biden excitedly tweeted out the news that he had made negotiations and we would be bringing home Brittney Griner back to the United States of America in a trade for Victor Bout, a Russian arms dealer who is known as the Merchant of Death globally. A man who has raised regimes of young, violent men to commit acts of terrorism on a global scale. We traded that off for a WNBA player who smoked pot and also actively denounced the United States. That's it. That's the story. You guys have a good one. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, though, I mean, how much more insane can that possibly get? There are plenty of people who were saying that the gentleman, I forgot his name. I want to say it was Paul Welchman, but please correct me if I'm wrong because that doesn't even sound right. But basically, this was a gentleman who was previously active duty Marines who is still in prison in Russia and has been since 2018 without release. Now, the White House spokesperson? No, it wasn't the spokesperson. One of the administration for the White House there came out speaking basically about how cool it was that it was a black lesbian WNBA player who was let out. And he did make mention that he does also want to get Paul out of there. But with that being said, why was this the first one? Why was she the first person to come home? Was it just the easiest? Was it what Russia was willing to negotiate? Do we think that this was a fair trade? I have my own personal thoughts about Brittney Griner and, her position on America. She had been very outspoken about her anti-nationalistic beliefs. And I'm not going to sit here and completely sell her up the road for feeling the way that she does. I will say that I think that she's horribly misguided in the posts that I've seen her say about the state of race relations in America. I think that I would like to see her come back with a new appreciation for the country that she lives in. The one that got her out of the hard labor camps out of Russia. Hopefully that she is, and hopefully she's just as outspoken about this newfound appreciation as she was about her criticisms of America. Because we all have criticism of America. I'm not here to sit here and say that you don't have a right to criticize America or that you shouldn't, that you have to silently just pretend like everything is golden here. I have many gripes about America myself. But one thing that we need to understand is that we are Americans, and the only place that's going to treat you worse than the United States is everywhere else. I think we've seen that exemplified in this lesson, this story of hers particularly. So I think it's very important that we all take heed to that and understand, and really as a lesson to all of us, understand and appreciate what we do have here in America and try to work on bettering that and try to work on understanding that even though it may seem very bleak here, it may seem very dark and dim with the days that we're currently going through, we do still live in one of the greatest countries that's on the planet. A country that can afford and will take lengths to bring you home, free you from foreign imprisonment after you have denounced them. I don't believe that Russia would do the same thing for any of its citizens if they denounced it heavily and publicly. We have to think about the L that we take on a global scale by bringing home somebody who denounced their own country. They're like American, you're so weak. She denounced you completely and you still bring her home. I do not understand the mentality between them. She's gay, pot smoker, degenerate. It almost went a little French there. But you get the gist. They would not do the same thing for their people. I think that we should all be mindful of that and take that into consideration when we're speaking about how we feel about this country. My point is, as long as America is alive, as long as we are free as Americans, there's always room for improvement. And it could very much not be that way. in the near future. So let's keep that in mind when we think about these kind of situations and relations between citizens and our nation moving forward. All right.